regular citizen. Do you understand what you witnessing? You cannot tell what the difference is. I want it all and I'm winning it. I do not care about opinions. Time to make a few decisions so I can take a position. I'ma go get it, I'm punching and kicking. I keep on moving, they offer me. Just do it and stop without talking, G. I'm not expressing no modesty. I can't see nobody stopping me. If there's a problem, I gotta solve it. Straight to the top, I can't see myself falling. I gotta grab it, there's no time for stalling. Number one stunner, don't have other options. Now I'm fired up. I'm sorry, brother, your time's up. I see the top and I climb up. I came from the ashes, I rise up.
All fired up for WEF Weekly, and we are firing into a big season here at Wellington International. Something from everyone, from the smallest of the jumpers to the five-star Grand Prix, from dressage to hunters, a little bit of everything for everyone. And we're going to tell you all about it all throughout the 13 weeks of competition as it culminates into the early part of April for the jumpers with the Rolex Grand Prix, but much more in between with the Hunter Spectacular on to week 6, Nations Cup, we've got the five-star Grand Prix, and we've got those big Saturday nights and those wonderful afternoons on the field as well. We're going to give you background to all of those big competitions. We're going to catch up with some of the riders to get some exclusives with them, keep you up to date with the news and all the views of what is happening here in Wellington as well. Dressage, of course, is in there too, alongside the hunters. We've got a little bit of everything to bring you, from those Dressage World Cups through to Nations Cups as well. It is all on the menu here for WEF Weekly. We're discussing with some of the very best in the world what to expect from the big competitions, the previews and the reviews, where it went well and where it didn't go quite so well either, and who the big winners are. All of that to come on WEF Weekly, and we are looking forward to you joining us all throughout the season. But before all of that, let's take a little look at why our riders are so excited to get the season underway.
This is where it really started for me in my career. This is where I started jumping to higher levels, so it's always been, you know, a great home style feeling for me.
I'm really excited for WEF 2023. This is just a great place for us to start the year, get the horses' feet wet. It's fantastic that we get to be in one place for the entire winter while also being able to show at a really high level.
I think they've put up a lot of prize money here this season, obviously a lot of upgrades. I think the showgrounds look very promising, a lot of good things to come in the future, and I think we're going to have a real serious showgrounds here.
Conditions are best in the world, really. Like, you know, in the level of competition, I think every time coming here, being around the best, you can't help but pick things up and try and improve your riding.
To me, I love that this is a place we can call home, and I just think we have a really great balance here, and we're very lucky to have this in the States.
Welcoming our guests here for this week. I'm delighted to say alongside me, super young talent in Grace Debney. Grace, welcome to the programme.
Thank you.
Daniel Blumen, many times five-star winner here as well. Daniel, you're going to bring some experience to this one too.
Thank you for having me.
And Jacob Pope. Jacob, you're going to be wearing many hats this season. You're over in the hunters, you're over in the jumpers. It's a busy season. You're literally dashing between rounds.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Jacob, good to talk to you. We're going to come back to you in just a moment. Grace, first off, last year was a big step up for you. Just 17 then, at that point of view. Five-star wins behind you. How important is WEF for you as part of your season, and how important was it to do well last year?
It was huge. I mean, you're against the best of the best, so it's really intimidating, but it's amazing for your career. You get out there, a lot of people see you, so yeah, I mean, it helped me a lot. My ranking went up a lot. Yeah, it was a really good experience, and I feel like I proved that I could be at the top levels too.
How about your confidence?
Oh, it was a big confidence giver. I always say my horses are huge confidence givers because I just feel like I have a great connection with them, but for sure, like, feeling like I did well at the top levels against top people, it definitely boosted it.
Well, talking top people, Daniel Blumen, many times big winner here, five-star Grand Prix. You've won the Rolex Grand Prix here before now. We'll come on to that in a few moments' time. But Daniel, what does this mean, and how does this fit into a top flight, top 30 riders season here at WEF?
Well, you know, Wellington, it's important for us riders in different levels. First of all, I think it's important for us to be able to stay in one place for a little while, you know, be a little bit of a more normal family per se, you know, and be able to spend time with your friends and your family and your horses every day for many weeks in a row, you know. So that for me personally special. I'm sure that for the other riders it is as well. And nowadays this circuit has become pretty much the most important circuit in the winter. You have great riders, great trainers, great young riders, you know, great, there's great business, there's just a lot of great things happening here. The venue keeps growing and keeps getting better and better, so you know, we're very fortunate to be able to call this place home for the winter.
And for you, I mean, 18 years of age, Grace, what advice would you give her now, having already started like that? Because it's hard to start like that with good wins behind you here.
Yeah, you know, my advice for Grace, like it would be for every young rider, is just to enjoy the everyday, you know, to enjoy doing what we do, and that lifestyle around the horses, and let the results just sort of be a consequence of doing things right, you know. Don't over focus on the results and the performances in the ring. I think that if you just focus on having a nice process and doing things correctly at home with your horses and stuff, then the results are just going to come as a consequence of that.
Jacob, for you, results have come in everything from the equitation here to the hunters to the jumpers. Last year, you stepped up in the jumping more as well. You were right through to 5-star level with some shows at the tail end of last season. How's that changed what you're going to be doing at WEF this year?
Yeah, I think it's changed a lot, and what I really like about WEF is that it can be a home base, and we've really used it for kind of like that stepping stone kind of place, because the horses get used to it here. You can take horses from, you know, jumping young horse classes to jumping bigger. They're used to the rings, they're used to the jumps, and we also all have farms here, so it's nice to kind of be able to give them some time off at home too, and come back and start to move up the ranks. So being in one place for so long, we're here for 8 months. We do pre-circuit, circuit, post-circuit. It's been great for me to be able to do that. Like you said, I started here in equitation back in 2011, and I've just come up the ranks from there as a professional hunter rider. There's so many derbies here that I'm able to do out on the grass, in the international ring. And now stepping up into the jumpers, it's a little bit the same. I used to show as a junior, then as an amateur, and now I'm getting to do some 3, 4, 5-star level classes. So this being a home base where we thrive and the horses thrive has been really a great thing for my career.
And you're seeing a little bit of that with what you're doing now, Grace. What advice would the two of you make between each other?
I think Grace has really made a splash at a young age, which I didn't really do at a high level. So I think, like Daniel said, you know, enjoy every day and keep doing what she's doing, because she's clearly this year. I did young riders, you know, a few years ago, but my first like real big classes have been this year.
Danny, yours was a little bit different. You were telling some stories earlier.
Yeah, my first international Grand Prix here in Wellington was in 2009, and it wasn't quite as glamorous as your performances, but it was a start, and again, you know, it was experience. I think like everything, gotta enjoy the good days and the bad days, learn from it. But things have changed, you know, in the last 14 or 15 years, and now we have a lot of young riders that are very talented, and you know, for many years I was one of the young ones, and that's not the case anymore. You know, years pass, and that's good. It's cool. It's very exciting, you know, to see what's happening in the sport.
Are you looking forward to putting pressure on these boys?
Yeah. It'll be hard to beat last year, but we'll give it a go.
Are you feeling much more confident about running at them this year, or was last year going into your first year, sort of like, okay, I'll have a shot at this, and now you realise what it's about?
I mean, it's more intimidating now, honestly, because now I feel like I have expectations for myself. Like last year, I was like, we're just going, and it worked out, but I don't know.
And that's exactly how it goes.
Yeah.
You know, she nailed it. You know, at the beginning you were young and you just go with nothing to lose, and so you're kind of relaxed, and then you know you can do it, and then sometimes, you know, things go well and you get to beat the older guys, the more experienced guys, and then you start having expectations for yourself, and those are the difficult years.
Yeah.
Jacob, you get a shot at these two as well.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of what Daniel was just saying. It's a little bit of a mental game, kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I had an amazing summer. Now I know that I can do it, my horse can do it, so now it's even more of a mental game. So being with these guys in the big ring is, you know, we all know we can do it, but it's really putting your mind to it and making sure that you stay focused and get the job done.
Well, those that have already got the job done were here of the Premier Week here last week as well. We're going to take a look at a few of the highlights of that opening week here in Wellington.
You know, Kentucky's obviously always very fast, but on Thursday I was caught a little bit sleeping to the last fence. I added 2 and I meant to just check up once. And Richie got me, and I actually said to him after the class, I said, I was sleeping today, you're going to have to go faster on Sunday. And I knew he was coming behind me, so I wanted to be quite quick. He's feeling great. He's always great off a nice little bit of rest. He actually gets a little less fit late in the season. He's competed so much and he goes so fast, he almost gets a little bit like a racehorse. So we gave him a long break after Toronto, and he comes back a little more mellow. We have an incredible string of horses, some senior horses, obviously Azure Contagious, who been around, new addition in Callis, who've been doing some of the World Cup qualifiers, very excited about, and some really exciting young horses coming up, First Lady, Lazaro, and a couple of new ones that we haven't seen yet. So, you know, I have a great supporters behind me right now, a great group of people that are trying to help us be successful as a team, and so I'm very excited about the year ahead.
McLean Ward getting a very good start to the season, as he did last year. Daniel, how important is it to get off the mark here in Wellington?
You know, it depends on the strategy that you have. You know, McLean is always a very strong competitor, and he normally actually starts winning early in the season. I mean, he finished the year really strongly last year anyway, so he's just sort of carrying on that momentum. And well, the season is starting now, and we're looking forward to getting to those jump-ups with him.
Both you, Grace, you've also done a bit of work and training with McLean before now.
Yeah.
Seeing him do that, does that inspire you through as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like Daniel said, McLean's always a very strong contender, and I think he does a really good job of, you know, bringing Kentucky out and winning those kind of classes and saving up the stronger horses for the end of the year.
It was good fun start to the season. We had Battle of the Sexes in there too. Jacob, for you, you're just flat out busy. But as you said there in some of the run up for the season, how does this all come together for you in the sense of you've now got to get your focus on some of the 5 stars and everything else going on?
Yeah, so I have a bunch of horses at different levels, and I'm actually running to some hunters after this. So kind of switching my focus now that I have a couple really nice horses in the barn. We definitely have more staff down here, and just kind of trying to focus more on my riding and those few horses that are really special is definitely a juggling act. But what's nice about down here is you're kind of able to do that. The shows run every week, so maybe some of your younger horses don't show on the same weeks that your stronger horses show. And that's kind of how I structure our schedule, you know, really kind of look at the whole season down here and really plan on which weeks my horses that can jump 5 stars are going to show and which weeks maybe the clients show or my hunters show. So what's nice about the 12 weeks here is you can really plan accordingly, and you can have a barn of hunters and equitation horses and jumpers.
And you get it all done.
Yeah.
Last week was Battle of the Sexes. We've got a few of the highlights of that as well. But the thing is here with Wellington, and we'll see some of those pictures, which is, you know, the big crowds here from that point of view. Getting out there in that arena on a Saturday night with a big crowd in there. Jacob, how are you going to feel about maybe getting involved in some of that this season? You're already putting a bit of a gulp in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited about that. If I qualify for the Saturday night classes, it'll be my first down here. I did get to do some night classes this fall, which was great. But, you know, like we talked about earlier, it's a little bit of a mental game, and I think, you know, it's obviously a lot different in the hunter world, but it's something that I'm very used to, you know, the pressure coming back in the Derby, maybe on top. So hopefully I can channel that same mental state for Saturday night if I get in.
Grace, you getting ready to thrive on those big crowds as well?
Yeah, hopefully.
We saw here for Battle of the Sexes, I mean, the place was packed.
I see it as something very positive. You know, the atmosphere that you get here Saturday nights is rare in North America. You know, you don't get to have those crowds anymore. and the crowd here is very emotional on Saturday nights, and actually they've been coming for so many years that they actually understand the sport. You know, so that makes it nice and exciting. I mean, I personally never pay attention to that. You know, I think I try to focus and do my job, and it just becomes relevant the moment that you win, because the crowd is clapping or going crazy. Other than that, for me, if there's one person or 40,000, it doesn't change anything.
So if anything, I think the crowds and atmosphere here might pump them up and make them jump even better. So exactly. I'm looking forward to that.
Grace, feeling pumped for it?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I don't, like Daniel said, I don't really focus on it when I'm actually showing. I have some really hot horses, so when I come in, I'm kind of like, stop clapping for them. But when I'm going around, I definitely only makes you jump better.
Excellent. Well, looking forward to that. It's going to be a big season for all three riders that we've got here. Big season last year, another big season ahead in 2023. And of course, as mentioned a little bit earlier on by Daniel Blumen, for many at least towards that Rolex Grand Prix. Daniel, for you, you've won it back in 2012. And you said to me earlier, you've also been second 3 times, including last year. Frustration or elation with that class?
Yeah, you know, for sure you always want to take the win. The difference between being second and first is huge, you know, in many ways. But again, you know, after so many years of doing it and being on the tour and competing week in and week out, you sort of understand how the game goes, and you try to focus. I mean, I hope that the win comes again, you know, in that Grand Prix. But we'll see what happens. We'll definitely be trying again this year.
Definitely give it a good shot. Grace, for you, it would be a step up this year to be jumping into that. What are your feelings on that? Not as Daniel said, it's 3 months ahead yet.
Yeah, it's a big goal for me. It would come with no expectations. So yeah, I kind of like it like that though. If it happens, it happens, and I'll be really happy about it. But my goals are to really step up and be consistent this year. So hopefully I reach my bigger goals too.
And talking of goals in there, I mean, that Rolex week, you did win one of there.
Yeah.
So you have goals there, but you've already put your flag down.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely one of the monumental wins in my career so far. So it was a lot of fun.
I actually remember that class.
Yeah.
It was really fast.
Yeah.
You know, it just kept getting faster and faster and faster and faster. You know, believe it or not, I've never won one of those, ever.
Really?
In my I don't know, 12 years competing internationally in Wellington or something like that, I never won a meter 45 class. Never.
Goals for the year. There we go. Take that one up.
My first 2-star win was last year.
Really?
Yeah. I never won a 2-star.
You're working backwards.
Yeah.
Jacob, you're working forwards. For you this season, yeah, obviously we've got the 5 stars ahead for you. You're going to be seeing how things go there. Hunter-wise as well, what's your season going to look like? What are the big aims this year?
So the horse Unbelievable that I own with Forget Me Not Farm, I'm really excited about this year. We're going to debut week 3 so that I can do the Derby week 4 that's in the international ring, and really have my sights set on the Derbies on the grass later in season as well with the same mare. And then for my jumpers, I'm kind of just trying to get my rankings up. I'm jumping the 3-star this week, the 3-star next week, and then hoping to get into some of the 5 stars later in season. So obviously that would be really exciting, but I'm a little more just trying to get my rankings up and start slow this season.
Which makes you more nervous, doing one of the big Hunter Derbies here, or doing a potential 5-star?
Believe it or not, Hunters are, to me, more nerve-wracking. I don't know why. I mean, you have to be just as perfect in jumpers, but I don't know why. I just get more nervous for Hunters, which I can't even explain. Maybe Grace can explain it.
I get it.
I don't understand it. But
more always seems to go wrong in the Hunters.
Okay, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, it happens thick and fast. Daniel, it's going to be a big season for you as well. We'll probably see your big guns, if you like, coming out week 4, 5, that direction.
Yeah. You know, we'll sort of play like that and start bringing the horses out slowly, and aim for that Grand Prix, the Rolex Grand Prix again. But it's exciting, you know. It's really cool. Like I said, just to be able to be here and work with the younger horses and the older horses, and you know, get to see all these young stars and coming up the ranks and everything, and yeah, you know, it's great. Just very excited for the year.
An exciting year ahead. Jacob, thank you very much. We're going to let you dash back.
Thanks for
dash
having
back
me.
onto horses. Daniel, you've got a little more restful start to the season, but you're going to be ready to go. Grace, good luck.
Thank you.
Against these guys. And
Yeah.
Daniel, watch out.
I'm watching out.
These three riders are going to be involved in a big season here in Wellington in 2023. As ever, some firm favourites on the list. Those 5-star Grand Prix coming up at week 5, week 9, week 7, and of course the Nations Cup into week 8 as well, and culminating in week 12 with the Rolex Grand Prix as well. It's going to be months of top-class action and some of the world's best heading right here to Wellington. But not just in show jumping as well. The Hunter Spectacular comes up into week 6, and dressage as well. 5-star dressage, Nations Cup dressage, all over at Global as well. We look forward to all of that. You can follow so much of the action on wellingtoninternational.com, and our thanks to Wellington Equestrian Realty, who are bringing you that live streaming each week. From those Saturday nights through the big weeks and of course the days on the field as well. It's lots on the agenda for the world's very best here in Wellington. So tune in for that. Our weekly shows as well will bring you the run-up to those major weeks too. Make sure you join us here at Wellington International throughout 2023.